and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is currently stealing some oil tanker trucks from the Dominican Republic. It's Aaron Neuwirth.
The only thing to steal, really. Well,
It's liquid gold.
explosive oil tanker. This is an explosive summer slash year that we're going to talk about. I remember this year. It was competing for like which one had the most explosions. We'll talk about that.
So many and also like it's the year of Michelle Rodriguez in a sleeveless shirt. It's the year of mall cops.
Sleeveless shirt and the new teeth. She got new teeth this year. She got that. She got that Rodriguez makeover this year.
You know,
I remember that because like she comes back in Fast and Furious. I'm like, if you look at a side by side of her, the Fast and Furious, like she gave herself a glow up. Like
that actually explains things because I was always a big fan of Michelle Rodriguez growing up. I
nothing
always
against her. Yeah,
like no, but like I always thought she was like pretty. Like I think I even had like when I was in high school when I saw Fast and the Furious, I'm like, man, she's the best. Like I got a crush on her. But you're right. When she popped up in Fast and Furious, I'm like, man, she looks great.
no, yeah, she gave herself a glow up. It's very between that and Avatar. I'm like, if you look at the side by side between her and like Resident Evil and the Fast and the Furious, it's like, oh yeah, she did something. You
Yeah,
good for you. It's her choice, whatever. Good for her. So
I got to give Justin Lin credit for the beginning of Fast and Furious '09 because
we'll talk about this.
but like everyone looks great though. Everyone just looks.
Yeah, sure. Everyone looks well. As I say, old. Was it old parts, new models? What's the tagline?
Yeah. No, and it had a great trailer too. But yeah, we'll get into it.
New models, old parts. I think that was the tagline.
My goodness, great. So this was stressful for me. So we're drafting action scenes from 2009 movies, and we have done 2024. We've done 2018. We've done 2015. Listen to the summer of 2015 at 10 over at the Brandon Peters Show.
Please do.
And then now we're on this, and this is hard. This was hard for me. There's a lot of scenes, and it's good. We're picking 7 each, and we'll talk about all of them. So I shouldn't stress too much, but this is gonna be good. So Aaron, since you're the guest, I'm gonna let you pick first. I'm gonna let you have the first draft pick of '09 or '09.
I hoped to have the first scene because there's one I definitely want to have on my list. It might be unexpected, but this series is known for huge action sequences or what have you, and the entry I'm pulling from is maybe the worst entry, or at least second worst, but it's Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Whoa!
And it's the forest fight.
Oh yeah,
because if there's one thing that movie does well, it's having an IMAX shot sequence where Optimus Prime is, if you're in a real IMAX, he's actual size, which has always amused me. Like how big he would be in real life is how big he would be on a giant IMAX screen. And that's how it's shot for what I think is one of the coolest fights in all these Transformers movies. It's certainly one of the best scenes where Optimus and Sam are like they're running away from Megatron, from newly formed Megatron and Starscream and a couple others, and it's just Optimus versus all of them while Sam's trying to while he's trying to protect Sam. So Optimus has a disadvantage. He doesn't have his Autobot team with him. It's just him fighting all of the Decepticons, and he dies. Like he loses the fight, but the fight is so fucking cool. Like he even like screams like "I'll take all of you on," and he pulls out like another axe, and he starts like doing all his best to battle it all. It's great. And because it's shot on IMAX, that means Michael Bay has to slow down. So like there's not a lot of editing. Like it's very legible action. It's daytime and it looks amazing because Michael Bay has ILM money and just is doing whatever he wants. And like say what you will about the Transformers movies, even if they're overcomplicated in how their transformations work, I still think the sheen of the look of these things is tremendous.
Oh man,
and
yeah.
especially for movies shot during the daytime for the most. There's not a lot of cheating, or at least carefully placed movements to hide what you can't show. This is like, no, we're going to show you metal robots that are huge in broad daylight and make you recognize how good the special effects are. My theory about Transformers and why Michael Bay did 5 of them has always been because the first one lost special visual effects to Golden Compass. He just kept making them, hoping they would get the visual effects Oscar, and then he just finally gave up.
So many moving parts and gorgeous fight, and
it's the sound is amazing. Of course, it drops the score completely, I believe, for most of this fight too. So it's just like watch robots rolling through the forests, and trees are crumbling and parts are flying everywhere, and Optimus Prime is just spouting off catchphrases like "I have you now," and like it's just great.
And like 143 to 1 or like 19
It's
1.9.
it's IMAX format, so 1.9 I guess, or one yeah 1.9 I guess,
So
but
just looking great.
it's
He's kind of embracing
gorgeous.
Spielberg's love of aspect,
Yeah.
like full screen aspect
Well, it that's
ratios.
the other thing it helps too, because like all these before Bumblebee, all the Transformers films are shot 2.35, and it's like, why? What do
Yeah.
so at least with IMAX, it's like, yeah, remember height? They're
Yeah.
robots. Like, show height. Why are there shots of robots and there's like all this space in between them? It's ridiculous.
Give me height, and that's what this scene does.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? So I talk about this a lot, but it's really stuck with me. I had to count all the explosions in Michael Bay films,
Mm.
and I worked on the Transformers movies with all the explosions, and I think it affected me, Aaron, because I've like blocked them out of my memory. Because
Okay.
when I got to the fifth Transformers and I was counting the explosions and pausing it
Mhm.
and taking photos and marking off the amount of explosions in each, like printing it out, I went a
Mhm.
little insane. And by the fifth one, I kind of just was like, I don't want to watch these again. But now that you taught it's like Celine Dion, it's all coming back to me now. So yeah, I'm thinking about this scene, and all these Transformers things are just exploding back into my head. And that's a great fight scene, and it looks
Again,
great.
like it's one, like the movie itself, I think is one of Michael Bay's worst movies, because it was a writer strike movie and all that business or whatnot, but it's also just not very good. But regardless, that sequence is just such a fully great realization of what he can do when he's just having giant fucking robots battling each other. So I needed to draft that immediately to get that one out of the way.
And you know what's crazy is '09 is so '09 was probably the least amount of movies I've watched since I was old enough to watch movies,
Okay.
because I moved back. I moved back to Florida from Korea in late February. And during that time, I was just like living my life, came back home, was broke. For 2 months, I got into grad school, and I was broke then. And then I went to grad school and I was just broke. And so I was going to summer classes, had no money. My roommate was awesome. He charged me like $300 a month, but he had no TV or like movies in his house.
Mhm.
And like most of my movies had gotten tossed. And so I didn't really watch movies. And so I think I had to catch a lot of these later on or through rentals. But yeah, this is like one of the movies that I had so many gaps, and I still remember that. And it wasn't until I went back to bouncing when I had extra money in my pocket. That was probably July of '09 when I started getting a little bit of money. But it was fun to kind of look back to that year, because I did not spend much time in the theater. I think I watched a lot of these on DVD or rented them at Blockbuster. So I don't know why I shared that story, but I always remember that year as like being kind of the the year I didn't watch many movies.
Fair
Just,
enough.
yeah, random story, but I figured people wanted to hear it. All right, so your Transformers. I'm gonna
Mhm.
go Drag Me to Hell.
Ooh, look at you.
The
Avoiding some obvious ones and going straight for the parking lot battle.
Yeah, I mean listen. Okay, so the parking garage fight is so actually that's the first movie I watched with my wife Megan. We watched it on DVD because I don't think
Wonderful.
I got to the theater to go see it. So we watched it on DVD, and I love it. So I love this movie so much. And not only does the main character, Sylvia Ganoush attacks Christine in the parking garage. She works at a bank. She turned this lady down. The lady goes to attack her, grabs a button from her jacket, but
The demon was denied a bank loan.
well, that's a great movie title. So, but it features a great jump scare with this handkerchief flying in the air, and it passes by the car, and she's in the back seat. But this fight is so Sam Raimi, because teeth get exploded out of people's mouths, rulers get shoved into people's mouths, staplers go into people's eyes. This Christine, she goes all country again. She's like, "I'll beat you, yo bitch." Like there's and like the Mrs. Ganoush is this older lady, and then she like crawls around the car, and the lady Christine hits her head on the window when she goes to look for her. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's just there's elbows and faces. There's a lot of squishy noises. I mean, it's just a very funny, beautiful, intense fight scene. And I had to pick it number one. That was the number one thing I had to pick, was the Drag Me to Hell parking garage fight, because it's just beautifully Sam Raimi, and there's so many surprises. And I always show it to my students, and the gumming scene, they're all like, "Oh my gosh!"
Hmm.
I had to pick it number one. It's a beautiful fight, and what's great about Sam Raimi is it's just there's so many little bits to it, and there's so many little close-ups, and like zoom in on a stapler in the eye, and I love it. I love this fight so much. So my number one
There's a
fight.
bit where some
Oh, go for it.
there's a bit where some jazz music kicks in just to like
Yeah,
add a bit of tempo to the fight that's already happening, which I'm like, that's fun. That's random.
I love it so much, and I like the stapler and just what a fight.
I
Nothing. This makes me really happy.
I met Sam Raimi once at the Scott Pilgrim movie premiere
Whoa.
in Hollywood, and I got the chance to walk up to him, and I was like, "Hey, Sam Raimi, I just wanted to tell you." And I shook his hand. He had very nice soft hands. Very very nice man, very Midwestern nice. Um, I told him, Sam Raimi, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I just want you to know that I went and saw Drag Me to Hell and Up on the same day, and it was one of the greatest movie experiences of my life. Because they both came out at the same time, and I did a double feature that day, and that was the combination that I went for. So,
That's a great double feature.
yeah. Drag Me to Hell and then Up. It was good stuff for
Hey, I
sure.
want to run something by you here real quick. I was
Mhm.
thinking about this. Like, I think 87 has like some of the best action films because there's Predator, there's just Running Man, Lethal Weapon. Uh, what's the Condors, Eastern Condors.
Eastern Condors,
I mean,
Beverly Hills
I'm
Cop
missing a
2,
couple.
RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop, huge year. But four kind of movies we might talk about were nominated for Best Picture from 2009, and that's The Hurt Locker, Avatar, District 9, and Inglorious Bastards. Like you might even pick Up if there's a scene in there. But that's pretty random for four. Like there's two big kind of violent sci-fi films.
Hmm.
You have Quentin Tarantino's Nazi epic with just exploding bodies, and The Hurt Locker with like more exploding bodies.
And Up has its
Avatar,
own
like
Up has adventure stuff going
yeah,
on.
it's like a big. It's a pretty good year for action in
Awards,
general.
prestige film
Yeah,
action,
prestige
prestige
action.
action.
Yeah. So I just wanted to run that by you before we kept going because I was thinking about a lot of these movies. I'm like, well, this is the highest grossing film of all time.
What are you thinking in terms of that? Like doing an episode around years that had great like or awardsy action movies, or what are you saying?
Well, I was doing a Masters of the Universe episode because every
Uh,
like episode 426, episode 451, we do a Dolph Lundgren episode. And I started looking at 87 action films and I was like, this is stacked. And then prepping for this, I'm like, this is stacked. So then I went and looked at all those and I had fun with it. That's just a random observation about what I was picking up during the research of this.
fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your second pick?
My second pick, Transformers is pretty big. Do I just go smaller from here? Let's see. What's a good second
But you
pick
could
for
go
me?
small and big and promote your show.
I mean,
You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I do. Are you thinking Crank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just go for it because it's on the list. Obviously, yes. I was wondering, like, how do I incorporate Godzilla into this podcast episode? Me, of course, being a co-host of the podcast Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla. And yes, Crank High Voltage, the sequel, Crank 2, High Voltage, features Kaiju Chelios in a like how do you even describe this? Chevy is fighting his way through bad guys and he has to keep electrifying himself to keep his heart going. And I think during one point the film decides to go for an abstract version of what he's going through, and so it presents us with Chevy rocking a kaiju version of himself with a giant head. Think like Donkey Kong mode in GoldenEye, where like everybody suddenly has giant heads, and you're watching that kind of version of Chevy fighting another villain um
Johnny
amidst
Bang.
Johnny Bang, it's Johnny Bang, right? Amidst like power lines and miniature buildings or what have you, just straight out of like Suitmation, straight out of a Godzilla movie. And it's like it's shot so like matter of factly cheap as far as like it's all smoky, backlit. There you can literally like see the curtain of the of like the skyline behind them as they're fighting and dominating buildings or whatnot. It's very imaginative in a movie that already is taking a lot of swings.
Oh
Like
my gosh, it is. Yeah.
the first Crank I love because it's just feels like a guerrilla action film that happens to star Jason Statham. And the second one's like, let's do that again, but let's also like add acid to the equation. Like that's it's like, and so it delivers. I'm a big fan of of the Crank films, and yeah, this the Chefzilla scene is pretty great as well.
The flying two arm punch. I mean, that's such a Godzilla kind of classic where, well, I guess Godzilla gets on his tail and kicks with the feet, but just watching Chev flying in the air, pulling an M Bison, and but listen, they built a like a set of miniatures. They built a miniature power grid
Hmm.
and just put a bunch of makeup on Statham, and then he just clumsily fights another guy. It's I like they wrote that, they built the set, and they filmed it, and that makes me really happy.
It's the model work on the heads of these characters that really gets me too. It's just so like absurd how they look.
Oh, I love it. All right, so that's your second. No, hey, I have a question. Is your
Yeah.
arm still attached to your body?
Yes.
Oh man, so I
I
threw
don't know.
something. I threw something before that we start. I threw some shit before we started, and it hasn't. I'll probably hit somebody else now. But I'm gonna go with Black Dynamite. When Black
I threw that
Dynamite,
shit before I got here.
yeah, I threw that shit before I got. Ha ha! I threw that shit before I got here.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna go with the Nixon fight, but I quote that all the time. Like I threw that shit before I walked in the room. But yeah, when Black Dynamite he goes to Kung Fu Island and he fights Doctor Wu,
Uh-huh.
and but there's some great lines like, "Hey, keep your eye out," and he
Yeah.
rips this guy's eyes out and throws them at him, and and then the guy there's a big fight, and then the guy runs away, and when he runs into a room, this thing plops through a window and cuts off Doctor Wu's arm. And then Black Dynamite runs in there, is like, haha, I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Which
But
is
it's
the
just,
funniest thing.
I mean, like, I am not. I wish I want to still want to talk about that ghost of Abraham Lincoln joining Black Dynamite to fight Richard Nixon. But this scene is just like everything at Kung Fu Island is just wonderful. And I love how they get there, like Anaconda, malt liquor. But yeah, they show up there and just fight Dr. Wu, and just that line is just incredible. And that's another movie I watched on DVD and I just fell in love with because it rules. So I had to take that fight scene. I would have kicked myself if this wasn't on my list. So I'm going with Black Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Black Dynamite. I think it's such a great representation of blaxploitation cinema made in a modern sense, but still very much evoking the 70s specifically.
Yep.
Like I like Undercover Brother well enough, it's funny, but blaxploitation feels like a real like this is how you do this kind of
Yes.
thing. Like in a post Grindhouse world, like let's really approach this like we're making a 70s action film that's as over the top it can be. And Michael Jai White's such a fun performer. So like yeah, it rules. It's a great movie.
Ha
Yeah.
ha! It's so good. It's such a great scene. So yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking I threw that shit before I came in the room.
Very good.
Hush, child. My mama said my dad's name is Black Dynamite. Hush, child. Don't interrupt me when I'm doing my kung fu. That movie's so quotable. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I feel like I can't leave Avatar out of this. It's
No,
like this the
no.
whole deal is it's James Cameron, so there's so much like action. Like, what do I choose? I
Oh,
like the I'm tempted to choose a couple things. I think I'm just gonna go with the first flight sequence where Jake Sully
oh yeah.
oh my God, what are they called? The flying he's like the Turukai or whatever.
Yeah,
I
they
like
don't
this.
look up. I watched that again for this, but I don't remember their names. I background watched it for this. Jake
The
Sully.
the Ikran. There we go. Yeah, because he is the Turuk. He's the that's the thing. Yeah, the Ikran, the large bird-like creatures. Like yes, like there's a giant final battle, obviously, because Avatar, and it's epic and whatnot. And even like the Quaritch face-off was another contender for sure, because that's a cool, one-on-one fight scene. But I like it's that journey aspect that I really like about the fight thing, where he was like Jake Sully's trying to learn the ways of the Na'vi and everything. Like people could knock Cameron's dialogue all they want. It's not like Avatar is full of one-liners in the same way that like Terminator and True Lies are. But I do like there's a bit where he's explaining in his voiceover like how we're gonna get to these things. It's like you gotta go where they are. Oorah, and they like start climbing. But no, I like the whole like there's a because you have to like climb these impossible trees and mountains to get up to where they are, and then he has to like tussle with one and fight so he could like find the one that like is his partner or whatever, and sink the hair, and then he does, and then you get this wonderful flying sequence, and especially seeing it in a theater, much like is intended, the 3D is great in these movies. So like watching that happen for watching that first 3D flight that he takes that he's going down waterfalls and all kinds of stuff. It's great. It's cool. It's just a really cool utilization of what this premise is, as far as having these giant creatures flying even bigger creatures, and how learning how to become one with them. It's just good stuff. So I'll go with Avatar.
You can't forget that feeling of watching that in the theater. That's one movie I did go to the theater to see. You had to.
Uh,
And just the feeling that you got when he rode those creatures, and just the battles and the scope and the sound, like it was so immersive. And then everyone just tried to do that, but they forgot they're not James Cameron. But no,
yeah,
that's good. And also the final battle with Michelle Rodriguez rocking a sleeveless T-shirt, crushing it.
and face
uh
paint.
yeah, and face paint, and like just, oh, what a great battle. That's a good, I'm glad you got that out the way.
And is it Laz Alonso? He does his best. He's fighting on the plane. He gets killed. He falls off. It's all dramatic.
Oh wait,
Uh,
so he was in Fast and Furious then too.
of course, yes, it's big. It's the year of Alonso, as I call it.
All right. All right, should I do it? I'm gonna do it. Fast and
You,
Furious '09,
yeah,
because all right, the opening scene, the tunnel chases are garbage. I'm sorry, I've watched those movies so many times, for like how many pedometers, how many times, not pedometer, how many times did it set on the accelerator, how many times did they shift the gears, like I've just had to do so much work with, which is great. I'm getting paid for it. I'm not complaining. But that, I've just watched, like the ending of it, I don't think is that strong. But that opening scene, with just everyone looking great, and Sung Kang is there, Han is there, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's Han. I don't even think I knew he was coming back. So I saw him, like, this is awesome.
and I don't remember them displaying that either, as far as establishing that this is set before
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift, making the timeline amazing for this series.
And then you're just like, what? Han's back. And like, what you have, Leo, you have Rico, like you got,
Yeah,
like, just the great, you have a driver with an iguana. And I just like the idea of it. They're just getting tankers, and it's hard, and then it goes wrong, and then Dom but this is Dom when he's still having trouble with a truck driver who's holding an iguana and feeding it chocolate during most of the time. So this is like a good Dom. Letty, I don't know, like Michelle Rodriguez is looking awesome. Han's looking awesome. They're stealing this gas. And it just felt like they were back. It was big. It was fun. It looked great. It was very easy to follow. You kind of understood what the stakes were. And it's just, it made me really happy to have this back. And it made me really happy to see Han. And it just felt right. I don't know. Like, the rest of the movie's fine. I like the rest of the movie, but it's just, I don't know. That's a great scene. So I'm picking that.
as a devoted family member when it comes to Fast and Furious, yes, I am not that this is what I place at the bottom of the list, but it's not for lack of trying, because yes, there are good scenes in this film, particularly the opening like 20 minutes, which has, yes, this wonderful gas truck robbery. I'll just go for it on this on my next pick to stay on the movie, because the rooftop chase with Paul
Oh, yeah.
with Brian is also great. It's a great little, like, just like the fact that we get this really cool like car-based action sequence that evokes the first couple films, as far as I'm just trying to steal something on the road, is incredibly well accomplished. I think it's really masterfully done. It's over the top but still fun. Like, there's a point where one of the gas trucks turns over and it's rolling down the hill on fire, and
Um,
Dom and Letty, their only plan of action is drive under it at the right point. It's like, of course it is. It's great. But the fact that the movie's like, let's not stop here. Let's also give Brian a kick-ass introduction to the movie
yeah.
also. And you get this handheld rooftop chase that has him jumping over buildings and stuff. It's like, this is awesome. And that's why it's so crushingly disappointing the movie's not any better
Hmm.
than this. Because it's like, it has two of the series' best action sequences. All have a pretty good LA race at one point as well.
Hmm.
And it's like, why do we have to go? Why is the finale of this movie so terrible? I hate all this. And I mean, I think the story's whatever also. That's why I'm not big on this movie overall. But like the stuff at the top though is great. And yeah, this rooftop chase, which it's only like maybe 2 minutes long, but it's just so like well shot, and it makes you think, is Justin Lin like our best action filmmaker? Like, what's going on right now? Like, this is amazing. So,
Yeah, because Tokyo Drift is fun. That's
it
one of my
is.
favorite films.
It's
But
one of my, yeah.
when you watch it, it's it's yeah, that it's fine, but like I'm not
It's
too, I
all
wasn't
car
too,
based. It's
yeah,
not an action movie in the same way.
like I, even the action I wasn't that into. I just like the characters. Like I just want to hang out with Han and cruise around with him and eat chips. Like that was my,
Yeah,
that's what I
it's more
loved.
of a vibe of a movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just watch this, and you're like, where did this come from? Like, I like what Better Luck Tomorrow. Like I was a big fan of
Hmm.
his, like big fan of
Yeah.
that. And also, I gotta say, the trailer, Brian's running in the trailer looked
Hmm.
awesome with
Oh
that
yeah.
song. Does it offend you? Yeah, like that song.
Yeah, the trailer got me so hyped for this movie as far as the music goes, because it's just like, fuck yeah, I'm back in. Let's do this. They're all coming back. Let's go. And then the movie's like, ah, it's whatever. But that it was huge. I remember I was talking with my friend Scooter. We were sitting there, literally sitting there, opening night, and I was looking at it, we're like, what's this gonna make opening weekend? Because the last one didn't do well, but this one has all the people back again. So it's like, all right, what's this gonna do? Like, like 30, 40. It does, I think, like 80 something opening
Yeah,
week, or
made
like 90
bank.
opening weekend. Like it was crazy. And that was just a prediction of what was to come with this franchise because it was a huge opening for the this quote unquote legacy sequel, like of all things.
The trailer made it money. I think everyone's excited, but that trailer rocked.
It's a great trailer. It's a
Yeah,
great ad for like, and yes, it just gives you like, what do you want to see in these movies? Here it is. 72 million opening weekend. That's huge for an April release of the fourth Fast and Furious movie. Like,
yeah. And but that proved that people love Tokyo Drift. I know people, and
it proved that people wanted to see Vin Diesel and Paul Walker back in these roles
yeah,
again, and to a lesser extent Michelle Rodriguez and Jordana Brewster.
and
I think
Han.
because the clever, I know Scott Mendelson talks about this a lot. The crazy thing that this movie does is convince you that Fast and Furious is in fact a legacy sequel to the Fast and the Furious, since you had basically what you could call spin-offs in Too Fast and Tokyo Drift. This is like a direct sequel, basically, to the first one. But since none of these actors particularly broke out after the first one, it's like they all came back together again. Like that's kind of the logic you look at as to why people are like, yeah, good, this crew, they're together, it's great. Like
And also
now,
the
there's no denying that there are fans of Tokyo Drift, but that movie did, not gross the most. It wasn't
yeah.
at the time the most critically well received of the films. I love it. I have always loved it, but still, I get you. But yeah, combining all of these forces into one thing, it's like, yes, there you go.
Kill and Letty sucked.
And then they make, yeah, it did. And then they make Fast Five, and it's like the best thing ever. So it's
Yeah, like, what is happening?
like,
This movie's nuts.
yeah.
Ah, just, yeah. All right. Okay. So yeah, I did it. Fast and Furious. What's your fourth
And
pick?
I did it too. I did the
Oh,
other
okay.
Fast and Furious one.
Oh
So we're
well.
back to you.
Oh man,
I've talked a lot.
I'm gonna. This is weird, but in 2010, when I was in grad school, I went back to school after a few years away. I was getting my master's, and me and some friends, I'm from undergrad. My girlfriend, now wife Megan, we would get together for this thing called Bad Movie Tuesday, and we would just watch Sharks in Sweden. But that movie rules, or not Sharks in Sweden, Shark in Venice. And that movie rocks. And we would just pick a random movie, and we heard that Universal Soldier Regeneration was out. So
Mhm.
I think I rented it, maybe at Redbox. I don't even know how I got a hold of it. But I'm like, you know what? Let's watch this movie. We'll have a good laugh. And it rules. Like this movie, Andrei Arlovsky's in it. He's a really good MMA fighter. At this time, he was fighting Fedor, like excellent heavyweight. Mike Pyle was a solid MMA fighter. But this movie's largely, it takes place in factories. It takes place in abandoned buildings, and John Himes directed it. But there's a fight between Dolph and Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's kind of a kitchen fight because they're fighting through a kitchen. They go into like a little dining area, but they're just slamming each other through walls. And there's front kicks and there's heads and pipes. And it is a really good fight scene. And I love that they brought Dolph back, or Andrew Scott. And he's like, yeah, I'm still evil. So then this JCVD had to deal with him again. But it's just it's a really good fight, and there's a lot of kitchen action to it. So I don't know. The reason I'm picking this is there's probably better fights that came out this year, but I was so surprised at how good it was and how much fun it was. And Day of Reckoning brings in Scott Adkins and like is insane and one of the grittiest things I've ever seen. But it's just a really good fight scene. So I'm going Universal Soldier Regeneration when it's Luke Devereaux versus Andrew Scott, and it made me really happy. And I love that fight scene. Have you seen Universal Soldier Regeneration?
I know I've heard the best things about it. I've never seen Universal Soldier, so I
Oh
feel like
wow,
I feel like I need to like catch. I don't need to necessarily watch all of them, but I would like to be like somewhat caught up on this series before I go into just jump straight to regeneration.
Quick
That
question
said,
asked. Quick question for you though. Oh, I need a fourth. I so Raul Julia in Street Fighter, Frank
uh,
Langella in Masters of the Universe, Dolph Lundgren in the first Universal Soldier. Like I think they're all awards worthy performances. They drop some monologues and memorable dialogue, and Dolph has this crazy scene in a grocery store.
I think
What?
in the realm of characters you're kind of talking about, Clancy Brown in Highlander.
Oh yes, yes. Just yeah, like
The
just
the the
yelling
the,
and
the, the Kiergan, yeah.
yeah, the Kiergan. Man, that guy's a lot, and I
I
love
think
him.
I think they all fit in the same kind of zone there.
Yeah, like you're just watching them, and like these guys are bringing it.
Like maybe if we need another what's his face from Cobra, Brian
I'll say
what's
Dennehy.
not Brian Denny. That's First Blood. Wrong Brian.
Yeah,
Um
that's why I went there.
what's his face?
Thompson. Oh, the
Brian
Night
Thompson.
Slasher.
Yeah. That
Great
might be
look.
another. That'd be another one that I could fit in. I'm really good at this, apparently. Like I thought of those pretty quickly. Um, no,
Oh,
The Kiergan, I think, fits entirely into that space that you're talking about there.
oh, I like that. Yeah, no, that's good because I love those performances, and I think Dolph is great in Universal Soldier, and it's just I I think you and I do a good job of, and maybe more so now, of kind of understanding what the movie is and putting the viewing in context. You don't watch Universal Soldier and go, man, it's not as good as the Raid. You're like, oh, I'm just watching this directed to DVD film. I know what it is. Here's what it is. The last few haven't been that good, but you can kind of put it in context. But this one blew all my expectations away, so I had to pick that.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot in regards to that specific film. So, like, well, one day, I mean, I jumped straight to Sniper Grit based off friend Professor Mike Dillon, and
Yeah,
that movie rules. So, I mean,
that movie rocks.
it's not like I didn't need to watch 11 other sniper movies in order to make sure I got it. What's next for me here? Let's see. There's some good ones. I'll just go for it because I want to. G.I. Joe, Rise
Oh,
of Cobra.
which one?
Marlon Wayans asked the question that we all want to know: what is a super suit? Um, Followed, several minutes later, Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans are strapped into super suits, and they get into a super suit versus car chase across Paris as they attempt to stop evil Cobra Commander and his men from launching like some kind of, I believe, nanobite weapon that like
Destroys
destroys
this
I believe it destroys
Eiffel Tower.
the Eiffel Tower. Um, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to like how many explosions there are this year, because it's like between you have a Michael Bay film, a Stephen Sommers film, a James Cameron film, a Roland Emmerich film. There's a lot of guys that like to blow shit up coming out
Yeah.
with movies this year, and for me that summer it was between like Bay and Summers as far as like which one of these guys is gonna do more damage. And like it's probably Bay in his movie, but Steven Summers comes pretty damn close to G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. Like that movie's got a lot going on.
That Arctic base blows up. That thing's the
That
size of
yeah,
Rhode Island.
there's a lot, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's an underwater battle, like there's all kinds of things going on. But that super suit chase is a lot of fun. I think that's like regardless of how close to representing G.I. Joe that movie is, especially that sequence. Just the concept of here's an action movie where you have two guys in these ultra powered exosuits and they have to race across Paris to stop a terrorist attack and they fail no less. I think is really cool. It's a really well designed sequence. Steven Sommers knows how to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that movie more than most. I think I don't love it, but I like it, and I think that sequence delivers quite a bit.
And then you got Rachel Nichols driving around as
Yeah,
Scarlet,
as
doing her
Scarlet.
best. I feel like Black Widow with her motorcycle skills is she was like a before
Yeah, this
Scarlet
is
was riding her motorcycle around. I think Rachel
mhm.
Nichols was kind of looking the same exact way with the leather jacket and cruising behind them on the super suit. And yeah,
You got that
Steven Summers
going.
is a good time.
I believe Sienna Miller as the Baroness is like
Yeah.
the one in the lead of this thing.
Oh man, and like I felt she's just stuffed into that leather outfit the entire time,
Yeah,
and
this
just
movie. it makes the terrible mistake of being like, remember when you, me, and Cobra Commander were all friends before a war? To the point where I'm like, surely Summers recognizes how ridiculous this is because
Yeah.
it's so like there's a flashback and everything with like Joseph Gordon-Levitt before he has like Cobra Commander syndrome. Like it's
Yeah,
but
just buddies.
I much like watching this and then I watched Retaliation again not too long ago. Also, I'm like Rise of Cobra was where it was at. Retaliation has some scenes that are fun, but that movie is kind of whatever. The Rise of Cobra is like this got the comic book fun of what this is supposed to be, I think, and it's got a lot going for it for sure.
It's got a lot Steven Summers, and also, yeah, he's got a lot going for him.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy how he just made a couple movies after this, then he's in movie
He
jail.
like he made well this basically, and then like one other thing, and then he went to like director jail, and it's like why? Like, other blockbuster filmmakers have done far worse than Steven Summers has.
Man, that movie's fun. It's just big and loud and not
It's literally
great.
like this is like his biggest thing, and then he does Odd Thomas with Anton Yelchin, which is a smaller movie, but by all means is like well reviewed, and he just hasn't made a movie since then, and I don't know why. I think he's great.
He's he is great. Because
He
Van
is great.
Helsing,
Yeah.
that I mean, it's not
I,
Mummy or
I
Deep Rising us, but it's fun and it's
I
big
like
and
Van
it's
Helsing more
loud.
than most, but I do agree that it's like yes, it's certainly lesser than.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know why he hasn't been able to do more in such a long time.
I like Odd Thomas too. That movie's good. Like Addison Timlin
Odd Thomas,
and
that's
Anton.
just a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going really small ones, but I gotta go with Merantu, where Yuda Iko Ue fights Mad Dog in an elevator. It's very it's kind of it's not like a student film, but there wasn't much infrastructure when they made this movie over there in Indonesia. And just watching Mad Dog with short hair fighting Iko Ue in like cargo pants with long hair, because he's kind of bald in the other ones. They flip flop hair, and just watching the two of them scrap and like watching them fight. I just it Raid Raid 2 are my favorite action films since 2010. Anytime Yaya pops up in a movie, I'm happy. But yeah, the elevator fight between them, it's a good time, and I think they still had a lot of work left, but it's a great calling card to get him the raid. So I'm gonna take the elevator fight, and I know he's not Mad Dog in a movie, but I'm calling him Mad Dog and
It's
Nico.
easy. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
so I'm going Moran elevator fight because it just makes me really happy.
All right, great.
Are you going with Paul Blart? The headbutt scene?
No, but don't steal my thunder because I am going for the other mall cop movie, Observe and Report, of
Oh,
course, um, which has aged tremendously well as far
yes,
as
yes.
being a real skewering of toxic masculinity and the way an incel forms, essentially. But and it's a film that like makes no excuses for Seth Rogen's Ronnie, but like it doesn't like it's like it's like how do you do like Taxi Driver now and make it like lean into the absurdity more so it can be more inherently funny, but still like have something to say. Like this is a better Joker movie than Joker is, honestly, as far as like how it's attacking
Mm-hmm.
certain systems and actually has something to say and is just kind of emptiness put inside of a decent performance from a good actor. Observer Report
It's
though
not a
does
remake.
it's also not a remake, it's his own thing. And has some wonderful side characters, including Michael
Michael Pe-
Pena wearing his
I'm gonna
afro,
get you stoned. Like I'm gonna get you high.
Anna Faris being just like a completely oblivious
Oh,
bimbo, Patton
don't stop.
Oswalt,
Remember, she's like, don't stop when she's
yeah,
passed out. That's a
which
creep.
which created some controversy at the
Yeah.
time, I recall. Like, but this movie's I think a wonderful little gem that I only hope gets more credit as time goes on. That said, the concluding Ray Liotta in this movie is so funny as like being exasperated by everything Seth Rogen's doing, and the movie concludes with a tribute to Old Boy, where
The
Seth
flashlight.
Rogen as the Garrett fights with a flashlight against like an onslaught of cops. He's eventually aided by a young Jesse Plemons who
Yeah.
tries to help him. But you have Ronnie just like taking on like cop after cop, beating them with flashlights before he's finally taken down. It's very funny, but it's also like really well shot for a
Yeah.
scene like that. Like what this is Jody Hill, who's since been working with Danny McBride on all the various HBO shows or what have you, and is part of the David Gordon Green section of people that like that make like these kinds of movies. But this is good stuff. I'm a fan of the McBride Jody Hill collaborations when it comes to either the shows or their
Yeah.
movies. I haven't watched Your Highness in a while, but I recall not disliking it the way that so many other folks seem to.
It's just
But
so
just
nasty. Like
it
that's like
is. Their sensibilities are very like extreme, but just like they make me laugh. So like, what am I
yeah.
supposed to do? And this movie, I think I hope they do like more movie stuff in the future because I do think there's a lot of just untapped potential that we haven't gotten, even though they have like these unlimited budgets on HBO to make ridiculous shows like Righteous Gemstones. But yeah, this fight in Observer Report is really, really fun. So
There's a couple times when he hits people in the face with the flashlight, and I felt it. And I
yes,
don't
it you really
feel it
feel
that
the
much.
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like watching a what's his name? A Neil what's The Descent? A
Oh,
Neil
Neil
Marshall film.
Marshall. Yeah.
Neil Marshall's a director that makes you feel the pain, and this is a
Yeah.
movie that has that kind of effect on you.
Just a couple times, like, did he hit that guy? And then Ray Liotta gets in the fight. Oh, it's so I
Yeah,
thought
really
maybe
walks into the fight like he's a bad guy in a Sega Genesis side scroller game. It's like, all right, it's time for me now.
yeah,
Like he suddenly walks in.
I didn't know if like there's the flasher chase and then like this and
Flasher chased it to a remix of Where's My Mind,
oh
which
man.
also concludes in a shockingly violent way.
That
Like
movie hit my wavelength.
shockingly violent as in it involves both gunshot wounds and full frontal male nudity at
Yeah.
the same time.
Only, I mean, they love that, the Righteous Gemstone crew. So, or I guess an observant or vice principals and all that. So,
Yeah, you get a lot of penis
yeah.
when you're talking about their movies and their work.
Oh man, that's such a good scene.
Ugh.
But no Paul Blart. I do like his headbutt because no one wins when you get headbutted, which is a good line. But
Uh,
when his tummy starts rumbling and it lands on a lady, that's not the best action scene.
okay.
Okay, should we just get this out of the way? I mean, you took Avatar, so I should
Uh-huh.
just I we should District 9 it
Yeah.
when Wickus enters the suit. Just like so the biolab thing is awesome because people blow up in this movie. I messaged you. I forgot how people just blow up. Just
Yeah, they become just
nothing.
water balloons.
But when Wickus, he enters the suit, he's trying to rescue Christopher, but he's blowing up people in turrets. He's blowing up people with huge sniper rifles. Like there's these guys coming out of nowhere, and he is just obliterating them. I mean, people
This
just get
is
obliterated.
this is where you see a Neil Blomkamp, like, because he was supposed to make the Halo movie, and then that got canceled. This is like, oh, so this is what it would have looked like if he made the Halo movie. Like, it would have been this. It would have been nuts.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or an alien movie. Like the guy just
Oh yeah,
kills.
he was working on the Alien movie for a
Yeah,
while, and that got canceled. But
he kills people so hard in this scene.
yeah,
It's just, and it looks beautiful, and it's a really kind of interesting. I don't know. The VFX are great, but yeah, just man, watching that again, I was like, man, I forgot people blow up. They're water balloons. So yeah, I'm gonna take the District 9 scene because that thing's crazy.
yeah, it rocks. It's a great is to rescue with Christopher Johnson.
Yeah, yeah, Chris, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great just understanding of that's what these do. And like and troubleshooting your way through an escape sequence. It's really good stuff.
And like that
Uh
Venter gets ripped to shreds and
yeah, there's a lot of payoff to the people that are like horrible and like want to see, get their comeuppance. This movie does that.
just
Like,
blow up. They blow up.
yeah.
It's great.
How many were we at? Five?
Yep.
We got two more?
Yep. Wait, no, I just
Um,
did six.
you said six. Okay, so we got one more. Or I have two more. I'm doing
Yeah.
mine, and then we have one more.
There we go.
Okay, so I have two more. Let's see. Where was I at? I'm gonna go with next here. There's some good ones.
Oh
I'm gonna
man.
go with Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah. We can't leave that one off.
Um,
Oh,
the big bar shootout scene. Like this movie
oh
has
man, yeah.
sustained sequences of tension that are so fantastic. Like you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, Tarantino like knows how to direct movies well. And like I saw Inglourious Basterds. I saw it the Friday it came out, and then I saw it like 7 hours later. It's like I need to see this again, like right away. So, um, yeah,
So good.
it's a good stuff, and yeah, there's a whole sequence where Michael Fassbender and crew have to go down to a bar so they can meet their contact, and then like a Nazi stormtrooper enters the scene and includes himself in their conversation, and they have a whole deal going on where Michael Fassbender's trying to like bluff his way through a thing, and he gives himself up by doing the wrong hand gesture, and it leads to another sustained sequence of tension right here where they're both holding guns under the table at each
Oh,
other, and like all hell's about to break out, and then it does, and it's this glorious like Tarantino's so good at like making a lot of big action occur very rapidly but feel very impactful. So like like there's a number of characters that we like are with at
Hugo.
this point. We have Hugo Stiglitz, we got the Michael Fassbender, we have Dan Kruger, we have the German guy. Like we have like a bunch of characters that and it becomes a Mexican standoff scene essentially, and they all shoot at each other very quickly. Everybody dies, bartender dies, everybody else at the bar like the whole table behind them dies, and we were left with like two survivors out of all of this thing, but it's such a fast sequence, but it's so like killer as far as how it's edited together
Yeah.
to like for maximum intensity. Um, good
Tense
stuff.
movie.
Good,
Yeah.
good stuff. Tense movie, of course, but yeah, good little like as far as an action scene goes, that's a good little one to like throw in there as far as something it's smaller by design, but still plenty impactful as far as what happens in it.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's a really good pick. Okay. Uh, this, you know what? I'm gonna go weird. I've been, I was watching a lot of movies again for this, and one of my favorite movies of the 21st century is Thirst by Park Chan Wook. And then I started
Yeah.
watching Valhalla Rising again, and
Okay.
there's two really great wide shots in that. There's one where one eye just snaps a dude's neck in a wide shot, but in Thirst at the end, I'm gonna call this an action scene because in Thirst, what Sang Hyun, he drives to like this coastal area, and he
Hmm.
takes Teju to like they're both vampires. They've killed
Yeah.
people. It's bloody. There's like a lot of sex, a lot of blood. It's very claustrophobic. It's just insane. But at the end, his plan is to they're going to burn themselves alive, but she doesn't want to. So he brings her out. Then she goes into the trunk, and he rips the trunk off, throws it. She goes and she grabs it, puts it back on the trunk, the top of the like the whatever trunk, I don't know whatever you call that. He grabs it, throws it out to the ocean. She jumps in the air in this gorgeous wide shot, snaps his arm, just straight up snaps his arm, and it looks like just he's like, ah man, that really hurts. Snaps his arm. They kind of wrestle around a little bit, and then they both kind of resign themselves to their fate and they burn to death. It's a mini scrap. It's kind of a it's not exactly a fight, but arms are broken and people jump in the air and they die. But it's
It
just such a
happens.
gorgeous moment. And it's so well shot. And I love a good wide shot. And just her jumping in the air after him is gorgeous to behold. And I know it's not the longest set piece. It's not like the Avatar District 9, but it's gorgeously filmed. So I'm gonna go with Thirst.
I entirely agree. Like I'm a big fan of I'm a huge Park Chan-wook fan in general, and Thirst
Mm-hmm.
is very cool. And that is a fun like game of one-upsmanship of them trying to one trying to survive, one trying to not, and like make them the kind of the efforts they both take as far as making this their preferred outcome become a thing is pretty fun to watch. I entirely agree. That's a good choice. Good way to mix things up for sure.
I love Thirst.
Yeah, Thirst is great.
Okay.
All right.
We got a lightning round after this, but your
Well,
last
yeah,
pick.
I've plenty left for the lightning round. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of which one do I want to describe the most right now. Whew, what do I have here? Let's see.
There's some good. We left. There's some big ones on the table still.
There are.
Yeah,
Um,
it's tough.
yeah, okay. I guess I as far as like action scenes go, I'll go with this. I'll go with this. I'm gonna go with Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Whoa.
Um, and it's another smaller scene. It's the first scene of the movie, essentially. It's the comedian's fight before he dies. And in the comics, like Watchmen's one of my favorite comics, if not my favorite comic ever. And so I was very much excited to see a cinematic version of it. I think Zack Snyder's take on the film is fine. It does feel like a movie that is Zack Snyder, like regardless of what he thinks about Watchmen, the movie communicates this idea that he doesn't seem to get what it's standing for because everything's very cool in a movie where bone breaks or whatnot are supposed to feel like we're talking about Observe and Report, like brutal. And I never feel like the fights that happen are brutal enough. Instead, they feel like it's just showing me how cool the action heroes are in the film, where the book's more reflective on that. But regardless, in the book, the comedian's death is pretty straightforward. Guy comes in, kills him, throws him out of the window, and lands, down from a skyscraper. This movie gives the comedian a little bit more of a fight. He tries a little bit harder not to die, and it's a pretty cool stage death that has this wonderful shot that's like outside the window, that's slow motion that like throws the comedian across the room, and it's just that kind of stuff really works for me when you're just seeing it handled in a way that feels especially special. Like 2007 is gonna have some cool action scenes we can talk about that have that same kind of thing go on that I really like. But yeah, there's it's as a way to kind of kick this thing off of a bang, and then it all ends with comedian being tossed out a window and falling to his death. It's a good little sequence. It's a good little fight.
Yeah.
It emphasizes Snyder's style. Like regardless of how I feel about his thematic choices in the film, I do think the style is very present. It's a very good looking movie. Um, and yeah, just like as a contained like fight sequence at the front of the movie, I think it's pretty solid. So I'll go for that. Watchmen.
This is really random, but I was a substitute teacher and I taught AP English for
Hmm.
almost a year. And one of my students watched 300 and came in the next day. He's like, I just watched the greatest movie ever made. Like, it's like Snyder was huge back then, and he really sold this movie. And it had an event feel around it. And a lot of people who didn't even know about Watchmen were like, I'm gonna go watch this. Like it was kind of an event type thing. So
Well,
I
like its trailer premiered in front of Dark Knight. Like
yeah.
it's like so everyone in the world saw the trailer for Watchmen. They're like, "What's this? What's this gonna be?"
And my guy P Dub's in it, so you got to go see that.
Yeah,
So oh, I love it. Hey, so for
Pete.
our quick round, or if you have more,
I was gonna say Pete, Paul, Pete,
Patrick Wilson,
Patrick. I was like Paul, Patrick Wilson.
Paul
He has my
Wesley.
he has my favorite little bit that's very Lethal Weapon, where like Rorschach comes into his place and starts talking to him, and then he leaves, and Night Owl, he's just sitting there, and like some sexy sax starts playing on the. I was like, oh, this is like Lethal Weapon all of a sudden. Like he's just sitting there, like Murtaugh just got some bad news. Um,
Man, yeah, no, and then like just what like Leonard Cohen playing, and just you're like, what's happening here?
yeah, there's a lot of choices that are
Yeah,
made that I'm not huge on, but at the same time, I still think it's certainly different from most superhero films, so it's got that going for it.
you know what though? I like that Zack Snyder makes choices. Like there's so many directors that you watch, not so many, but there's direct movies you watch where just nothing happened. Like that was a movie, but at
Yeah,
least even if he's
as much as
wrong or it's misguided, I like that he's like, I'm gonna make this choice, and then you see it, and you're like, what the hell?
no, and, like because I like more Zack Snyder films than I
Yeah.
don't. So like I'll always appreciate him for making a film that looks like something he made. That's
Hmm.
not easy to do to establish your own very signature kind of filmmaking style, which is why I'm also big on Michael Bay. He's an auteur. Like he
Yes, he
does
is.
things very specifically in a way that I generally like, with like few exceptions. Snyder, there's a it's too bad that his Wikipedia page is too complicated for me to get into what the other issues are with Snyder. But I mean,
Yeah,
there's certainly the films, the ones I really like for reasons involving his ability as a filmmaker. So, yeah.
I love it. All right, do you want to do for the lightning round? You do two, I do two, you do two, so we don't name eight in a
Sure,
row. I'll let you
that's
do two
fine.
real quick, then I'll do two, then you do two until we've run out.
Okay. Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there's a couple of big fights in there where he's doing his Sherlock Holmes bit of like predicting everything that's going to happen, and then it all happens, and it's like, oh, that's fun. Good job, Guy Ritchie. And in the same movie, there's that big like explosion sequence where they're like running slow mo, like it's all these like barrels of explosives are going off at the same time. It's very, very cool. Really cool stylized stuff in that Sherlock. I like the Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies quite a
Yeah, they're
bit. So,
fun. Then do you have another movie?
sure, 2012.
Oh yeah,
Um,
which one? Which
where
driving scene from one place to the other are you gonna pick?
I think the one where Woody Harrelson is getting blown up by like a big old volcano, and John Cusack's trying to outrun like the big earthquake that's going on
In
with
the
like
limo?
in the limo with like meteors and stuff, or like whatever, like lava rocks and stuff like landing nearby, and he's like trying to outrun it and everything. That's fun.
Oh yeah, I know. I love that scene. That
I'm
seems.
big on 2012 rules, I think. So it's like I'm big on that movie quite a bit.
I like that Roland Emmerich's like, they're gonna drive to something, they're gonna get in it, and then they're gonna fly away, but it's gonna be hard to do it, and then they're gonna land, but then they have to drive somewhere else and then get into something that's going to be hard to do. Like it's just, but I love it. I love the how propulsive it is.
It's a great most movie. It's got a
Yeah,
lot of the most it can do.
yeah. Okay, so you got two. So I'm gonna. There's in Dead Snow. There's a great snow
Dead
fight
Snow.
between Martin and Roy with like chainsaws, and
Uh-huh.
there's zombie Nazis getting beat up, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's good music. There's a snowmobile gets involved and rips a head off. Like there's chainsaws, and I mean, anytime there's
This is the
snowmobile
first Dead
death,
Snow, right?
yeah, first Dead Snow.
Because Dead Snow 2 like ups the ante. I love Dead Snow 2 a
There's a
lot.
tank in the second one, I think. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one gets crazy. And then also, this is really random, but in Land of the Lost, it's not great, but there's a scene where Will Ferrell like like what do you call it when you run with the pole, then you jump over
Pole vault?
pole vault, but he pole vaults himself into the like straight into the mouth of a T-Rex.
Oh
So
yes, this I remember this.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I mean, like tickles, he gets pooped out, but I like that you're just I didn't see that coming. And sometimes when you watch movies like that, you just need those moments. But yeah, he pole vaults himself, but like he goes straight into the T-Rex's mouth. And it's a fun little set piece. So that's one I had to mention.
I haven't thought about that in a while, but good job. Um, let's see. X-Men Origins, Wolverine. There's a big motorcycle chase sequence where cool things happen. Wolverine, I believe, he gets into a chicken race with a Hummer, and he drives on like the side of it and like drags his claws into the Hummer, and it's cool. And then he does like a turnaround where he like uses his claws to like stop the motorcycle so he can do a
Yeah.
quick U-turn, which is pretty badass. I believe he then like launches the motorcycle somehow into a helicopter, right? And then the helicopter crashes, then he walks away, and he's a cool guy that doesn't look at explosions. Can't really go wrong with any of that, I feel. In the movie that is the best film lost in time as far as it should have come out during the canon 80s era. It just happens to be a 2000s blockbuster instead, and it is not as great because of that reason.
That's definitely the best scene. I like that scene a lot.
Oh, that whole sequence is fun, yes.
Yeah,
That
that's a good
movie
one.
is, again, it's just a movie that's lost in time. If it came out in the 80s, it'd be a beloved Stallone movie. But as it stands, it's a mediocre at best X-Men movie.
That's a great point. I don't good like I don't think I would watch the whole thing, but if someone just went, hey, I don't know, AI make this into a canon movie from the 80s, like it might be kind of fun to watch, but no, I wouldn't do it. But I
So
can
yeah, Wolverine, and then Star Trek, a series I'm not the biggest fan of. But there is a whole sequence where Kirk and Sulu have like a sword fight on like some kind of like satellite station or something's going on, right?
yeah.
Which is like pretty intense, and it leads to like the whole thing blowing up, whatever. Then they're like free falling in the air for a while before they get like phased back into the Enterprise. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing,
And that
especially
idiot
because it's
red
like
shirt, like
there's yeah, there's one
pull your
they specifically
parachute. Yeah. And
they
then,
specifically have a red shirt to die, which is like humorous, and then the fact that it's Kirk and that it's Pine and Cho, like it goes for like something subtle as opposed to being like, yeah, let's just have Kirk and Spock in every scene together, whatever. It's like, oh, let's make a choice here. Let's have Sulu in here. He's a sword fighter. Let's get him going. It's
yeah.
pretty cool. It's as I recall, I haven't watched the movie in a while, but it's shot really well. Like it's really because we were talking about J.J. Abrams a lot last a couple weeks ago from our Mission Impossible 3 commentary, and like just seeing his abilities as a director. Like there's a lot of stuff that really works in Star Trek, even if I'm, again, not the big, I'm not the biggest Trek guy. Like that movie has a lot of sequences that are pretty effective. So,
I gotta say, so I just watched all the OG Star Trek and Star Trek Next Gen movies for the first time,
uh-huh.
and now I'm on JJ's. I've seen these, but man, I'm watching this again. We're talking about it in a few weeks. I like to watch movies maybe like a month in advance just to think about them. Kind of want to fight Chris Pine as Captain Kirk in Star Trek '09. He's just very every lady he hey lady, like,
He is
hey
very cocksure.
hey
Yes.
ladies, you're like go. But like Bones is great. The opening scene is good with Hemsworth, biting the bullet.
I love that Hemsworth scene so much where when they announced him as Thor, I'm like, fuck yeah, this guy was
Yeah,
great.
just tearing up whenever I watch it. I'm like, this
It's
scene
such a good
rocks.
scene. I had no business being like that good for me. I'm like, why am I so invested in this? I have no idea what anything's going on right
It's
now.
so yeah, that scene is really good. And like I Pine, like whenever he talks to Saldana, I'm just like, leave her alone. Like, just get out of here. Like he's eating apples and he's hitting on every lady, and you're just like, this guy's gross. So yeah, but yeah, that scene rocks. But I mean, Bones is good. Our Urban's really good. Cho is good.
Here's how little I knew about Star Trek going into Star Trek. I didn't realize that there was like a triumvirate of Kirk, Spock, and Bones. So when Urban gets on the scene, I'm like, I like this guy. Who's this guy? But like in my head, I'm like, I've never heard of Bones before. Like that's how little into Star Trek I
Yeah,
was.
he
So
popped.
I was delighted to be like, oh, this is like one of our main guys, Bones. Great. I like this a lot because Urban's very fun as that character.
Yeah, that one's great. Yeah, I like him a lot. So I'll jump into two. Fantastic Mr. Fox when Fox fights the rat.
Nice.
That's a gorgeous looking scene when they're pushing the generator and like it's sparking on and off. And they have their run in earlier, and I just like that Willem Dafoe plays a rat with a switchblade. Like I think the world needs more of that. But just that thing's really gorgeous to look at. How it keeps buzzing on and off, and then eventually the rat gets electrocuted. But
It's a cool
gorgeous,
fight. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's a really for a movie that's already very stylized with stop motion animation and Wes Anderson, the fact that it pulls off this like yeah, this interesting sort of fight, that's good stuff.
I love that. And then Underworld: Rise of the Lycans. It ends with Michael Sheen fighting Bill Nye in a sword fight. And I covered this on Movies from the Flicks with David Cross, who went through every movie. It got long in the tooth there. Uh, no pun intended. I didn't mean for that to happen. But yeah, this one, I was like, when is the? We're never going to see this again. This is a movie with a pretty big budget, capped with a sword fight between Bill Nye and Michael Sheen in wigs, looking great. And
I've
yeah,
heard this is the best one from a few people. I don't like Underworld or Underworld 2, so I've just kind of gave up right away on that series. I've heard some people say that they really like 3 a lot because it's a prequel that's doing its own thing.
I mean, you got Michael Sheen and Bill Nye. Rona Mitra is always welcome,
All of that
and
is
like
a plus to me, yes.
less evanescence of the first
Uh-huh.
two, if that makes sense. Like the first
No,
one,
that makes a lot of sense because this
um,
one's like a period prequel. So
and the first one was made for like it wasn't made for much. I think it did what it could. The second one's just confusing as all get out. And but this one, I mean, what Tatopoulos directed it? Patrick Tatopoulos, a creature
did he?
designer. Yeah,
Oh, I
and
didn't know that.
so the creatures look good. It's pretty simple, and I mean, you just have Michael Sheen and Bill Nye as the leads, so you can't really go wrong just
Hmm.
watching them ham it up. So it's worth it for that.
I didn't know Tatab because I know he's just a great production designer and like visual
Yeah.
effects guy. So good for him. I didn't know he got a directorial credit.
And he does a comic commentary on it. It's a good commentary. He explains how he made it. I mean, it's good. It's because it's just not as frantic, and it's way better than the ones that come after it.
I would hope.
So, yeah, I would say it's either one or two in my estimation in the franchise.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
good. I will check it out one day. Um, okay, what else do I
You gotta
got
watch it at
here?
night though. You don't want to burn.
Yeah, or Under the World. I have Terminator Salvation, another movie that was probably I think the movie that disappointed me most that year.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, like cool, let's go. Yeah, let's go to the future. That's interesting. Let's see what we can do with that. And the movie is largely garbage. That said, there is a highway chase with Kyle Reese and Sam Worthington against like,
Anton.
yeah, Anton Yelchin as Kyle Reese. Like they're like there's like little Terminator motorcycle things or
Yeah.
whatnot. That's a pretty cool like the, the action ranges in that movie for me. There's like a couple. They're like McGee tries some stuff. There's like a oneer early on in the film that's pretty cool. That's like John Connor gets into like a helicopter and flies above the thing and things happen and he fights a Terminator all in one shot. It's like okay, cool, good stuff. But yeah, there's a highway chase that I can remember pretty specifically. That's pretty effective. That I like quite a bit for a movie that largely just kind of fades away from memory. So,
Poor Moon Bloodgood in that movie. she gets
uh-huh.
she, and then she's in Street Fighter Legend of Chun Li acting with Chris Klein the same year. And you're just
She's
that's the most
acting, he's acting.
yeah, that's the most like I don't want to say beguiling because that's the wrong word. It's watching Chris Pine Klein in that Street Fighter Legend of Chun Li, you're like he's on another level with this.
It,
Like this
yeah,
guy, you just
and
don't
he hasn't done
know.
that since, and I'm like,
Yeah,
why not?
yeah.
Like this should be a whole thing.
Like
Like
you don't know what he's bringing, and you're going, "What is happening here?"
every time I see Chris Klein on a poster for some like direct to DVD, not DVD nonsense, I'm like, I should watch this just to see if he's trying to channel that same energy again. So yeah, Terminator, and then 12 rounds. Uh,
Yeah,
Rennie Harlan,
Swimming pool,
your
baby.
guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole trolley sequence in that movie. That's pretty damn good. A movie that I am a fan of. John Cena in like Saw meets Speed. Like it's a fun one
Yeah.
that we did for Deep Blue Sea, the podcast at one point. Were you on that too, or is it just me and Jay?
I don't remember. I've done 12 rounds a couple times. So maybe I was, but that was
I,
years
I would
ago.
assume you were, but I feel like
Yeah,
I can remember specifically talking with Jay about it. I know that. Maybe you weren't there that day.
maybe. I think I covered it on MFF. So maybe that's what it, oh, this podcast.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
why. But regardless, yes, 12 rounds is a cool trolley action sequence I like quite a bit.
You have another, wait, did you say two?
That was two, yeah.
Okay. And then I got Gamer, the dance by Michael C. Hall.
Oh, good lord. Yes.
Yours, but I remember watching that and going, what's happening? And the directors are the same guys who did Crank,
The
and
Craig directors, yeah.
they didn't really even want to make it, they said. And then Michael C. Hall didn't want to do the dancing. Jerry Butler didn't want to do that. But then everyone started doing it. Everyone got kind of into it. The DP got into it. And it's just a really odd scene, but I do like Jerry Butler's physicality in it. Like when he's fighting those people, he looks believable. They can murder people. And then in Pandorum, a movie with a lot to like. I like
Adorable.
when
Yeah.
Kung Lee, like I'm a big Kung Lee fan because he was in MMA, so I knew him through that. But he fights the leader of, I forget what they're called, but he fights the leader and like defeats him, and then the little kid kills him. But it's just
Mhm.
a cool fight. I'm like, Kung Lee is like fighting this big monster in like a big budget sci-fi film that is actually pretty good. But then Cam Gigante is in there. You're like, what's happening? But there's a lot to like in Pandorum, and I like that fight scene.
All right. Up, you have dogs and biplanes versus the house, which is
Yeah.
it's both fun and also a reminder that I think Up is pretty good, but not the best Pixar movie, like some people were
Those
convinced at the
first few
time.
minutes. I think people just
Uh,
remember the first few minutes.
That's because I'm like, yeah, this movie starts this way, but also ends with talking dogs and biplanes. Like, it's not exactly the same emotional weight going on here. And then Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, there's a whole Dumbledore firestorm action sequence. It's pretty rocking.
Cool. And then, yeah, want to just jump on a bunch because I got to get you out of here. Like Public
I got a
Enemies has a good gunfight.
Public Enemies has a great end
Yeah,
shootout.
bl-
That's on my list for sure.
like Blood and Bone. Michael C. Hall, Michael C. Hall, Michael Jai White just
Uh-huh.
destroys people in that movie. Push looks good. It's on location. There's some good fights. Ninja
Push
with
is
Scott Adkins has some good stuff.
that's what annoys me about Push. It's a good looking movie that I
Yeah,
think the story is nonsense crap and whatever. But like it, yes, like because what's his name? He did Lucky Number 11 and a few things that are decent. That director, he did like some of the Sherlock movies also, or Sherlock episodes, the TV
oh
show.
wow.
What's
Yeah,
his
it
name? What's
looks
his name?
great. Like they're really on location. Like that, you can't buy that. Well, I guess you can't make that. It just looks
Paul
great.
McEwen. There it is. Yeah, he's like a weird filmography, but like yeah, there's he knows how to like put a scene together. So I appreciate that.
Oh,
What
Zombieland has a couple fun bits in a grocery store with
the
Tallahassee.
amusement park chase at the
Yeah.
end?
Oh, Perfect
The amusement
Getaway,
park
Aaron.
chase at the end.
That's a good movie, Perfect Getaway. There's some good shots in that. Good action beats.
There's some stuff in there that I remember, and a lot of filter use, as I recall, as well, to like separate different scenes from each
Yeah,
other.
that's bad.
Where the wild things are, the wild rumpus, a lot of dirt balls and stuff being thrown around that I appreciate.
The
Big
Road has
monsters.
cannibals and Garrett Dillahunt
The,
getting shot.
it has that. Is that
Yeah.
an action scene? I'm like trying to like.
Like that and like Sin Nombre, they're a lot of thrillers. There's not too many like
Yeah.
action beats.
There's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. There's
Oh
a food
yeah.
hurricane that takes place, and they have to guide themselves through that. That's pretty cool. Christmas Carol. There's a flight through the city that I think is pretty awesome. Like Beowulf's my preferred Robert Zemeckis motion capture movie, but I think Christmas Carol's the best looking of the three of his movies that he did, and the 3D in that movie is pretty. The unfortunate thing was I saw like when we saw Christmas Carol in IMAX, they had a preview for Avatar before it, and we were so jazzed for Avatar. I was like, oh, we gotta still watch this movie. It's like Avatar is just the preview, so like stole the thunder from us being like excited to see a new one of these. But no, it's still like it's a very good looking movie, and yeah, there's a whole like him being like dragged around by the one of the spirits that looks pretty cool. Final Destination, the NASCAR
Yeah.
sequence.
A butt gets sucked out through a pool.
butt gets sucked out through a pool, that's for sure. But yeah, the NASCAR scene and this movie, this year has a lot of movies I don't like but have good sequences in them. I noticed that as I was making this because like the next I have is Angels and Demons, where Ewan McGregor escapes a neutron bomb by jumping out of a helicopter.
Oh yeah.
It's like the dumbest scene I've seen in a movie, but it's so fun. He like there's some like really early on line that establishes, oh yeah, he knows how to fly a helicopter. He's like a priest that works in the Vatican. He's like a helicopter pilot,
Oh
and then he
man, I
uses that to
remember that.
like he like blows up a neutron bomb, and then but he's able to like parachute out the last second. It's really funny.
Boondock
Um,
Saints 2 has a good ending. I'm not a big fan of the movie,
Boondock Saints too. There's a movie.
but
Oh
at the
boy.
end, I like when all the prisoners are looking at him and the brothers are like, bring it on. Like that's the one part I remember from that movie.
Uh, I
And
remember Cliff Curtis, not Cliff Curtis, Clifton Collins Jr. Has a beat where he like they all have an action scene, and there's a bit where he's standing outside the door and he's waiting to like break open the door and like he wants to say something cool, and you have like three different versions of him doing that before he finally settles on something, and like the other guys look at him like cool line. It's just such a stupid scene, but like it's but I like Clifton Collins Jr. So
yeah,
yeah.
he's great. So he's also in Star Trek. It was the year of Clifton Collins Jr.
Is he in Star Trek? Oh yeah, he's like
Yeah,
one of Nero's guys, isn't he?
yeah.
Like something like that.
Nemo's henchman.
Nemo,
Yeah.
is what's his name?
Nero. I call him
It's
Nero.
a Nero, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
don't confuse me. Um, The International, an entirely forgettable Tom Tykwer film with Clive Owen and I want to say Naomi Watts. It's either her or Kidman, but no,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
Clive
Kidman.
Owen, right? And
It's
her.
Clive Owen and Naomi Watts because I think Kidman. I used to confuse the two because there was the International and the Interpreter, and one is and the Interpreter is Kidman, and International is Watts, but they're both
Oh.
like the blandest titles possible. But the movie's so bland that they had to shoot an entire action sequence to like make something interesting happen, and it's set inside the Guggenheim, and it rules. Like the movie is whatever, but there's this whole scene set inside the Guggenheim Museum, which is a crazy elaborate museum that like goes up in circles, and you have Clive Owen like oozying people like and trying to like get through during this action sequence that was again entirely not in the script until they decided we need some action. Let's put this in here. Let's go to the most expensive museum in New York and throw something in. So there's that. Monsters vs. Aliens has like some huge scale action that I really like. I haven't seen the movie since I saw it in theaters, but I recall the scale being very impressive as far as like giant monsters and Reese Witherspoon's giant woman and all that stuff and fighting
That's
off
funny.
aliens. And then Wreck 2. Wreck 2 has a
Oh
bunch of
yeah.
soldiers going against zombies, and it does that very effectively for there's at least one like siege scene of them trying to like figure out what the hell's going on.
Horde has
Uh,
some good zombie action too. Um,
mm,
the French film, My Bloody Valentine. I like the grocery store scene. Halloween 2 has some brutal murders, but I wouldn't call them action scenes.
I don't call them action, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this is we did it. I gotta get you
Yeah,
out of here, but we did it. This is great. We're
good
just naming
stuff.
movies now. I love it. And what are we doing next?
Do we choose it here?
Yeah, or
Uh,
you can tell me. Just shoot me a think about it.
I don't
Shoot.
recall. I don't recall what year. What
You
do we?
sent me a list of movies, but
I
that's
sent you
like
a list.
way
I
back in
don't.
our chat.
I like how random. I like how random it is. We just like just choose a movie here. I don't know. 2013. Why not? Let's
Oh,
do
there we go.
that.
2013. Oh, I like that. All right. Hey, where can people find you, Aaron? And
Uh,
where can people listen to you?
I'm on multiple podcasts at this point.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, I co-host Out Now with Aaron and Abe with my friend Abe. We talk about weekly movie releases. I am also the co-host of Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla, where Terrence Johnson and I talk about Godzilla movies on a bi-weekly basis in chronological order. And then, of course, I'm sharing the stage with the Brandon Peters and the Scott Mendelson on the Brandon Peters Show, aka the summer of 2015 at 10, where we talk about the summer movie season from 10 years ago. A lot of fun going on there. I'm on all the socials there. It's PS4, and everything I do can be found on my personal blog. The code is zeke.substack.com.
Oh, and 2013 has The Last Stand. So I
Hey,
am very
sure
excited.
does.
I am very excited. This is going to be great. 2013. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for joining me, Aaron. And make sure to listen to his shows, listen to all the commentaries that I'm on the Out
Yeah,
Now with Aaron and Abe podcast. And yeah, check it out. Oh, Machete Kills too.
there's some
More
good ones on
Rodriguez in a sleeveless shirt. All right,
there.
so for me, Mark
All right.
Hoffmeyer, for Aaron Neuwirth, this is Movie Sons of Flakes. We'll see you next week.